If you've ever tried to grow a garden in clay, sandy, or rocky soil, you know just how discouraging it can be. Plants struggle to push their roots through heavy clay, they dry out too quickly in sand, and rocky ground seems like it will never hold enough nutrients to support real growth. Many gardeners think they've simply drawn the short straw with their soil type, but here's the truth. Bad soil doesn't mean you can't have a thriving garden. In fact, with just 3 affordable ingredients, you can completely transform almost any poor soil into a rich, fertile, well-balanced foundation for your plants. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly what those 3 ingredients are, how they work together, and how you can use them to finally grow the lush, productive garden you've been dreaming of. Stick with me, because by the end of this guide, you'll never look at difficult soil the same way again. Why bad soils fail, and what they need most. Clay, sandy, and rocky soils all fail for the same reason: imbalance. Clay soils are so compacted that air and water can't move freely, suffocating roots. Sandy soils let everything drain away so fast that plants can't hold on to water or nutrients. Rocky soils don't have enough organic matter to support life, leaving plants starved no matter how much fertilizer you add. The common thread is that none of these soils provide the 3 key elements plants need: structure, moisture balance, and living organic matter. Once you supply those, even the worst soil can come alive. That's where the 3-ingredient mix comes in. Compost is the foundation that fuels life in the soil. The first and most important ingredient is compost. It doesn't matter if you make it yourself or buy it bagged, compost is the single best amendment you can add to any poor soil. Compost is loaded with organic matter that improves soil structure, holds moisture without waterlogging, and feeds the microbes that make nutrients available to plants. In clay soils, compost breaks apart heavy clods, creating space for roots and water to move. In sandy soils, it acts like a sponge, slowing drainage and giving roots a chance to absorb what they need. And in rocky soils, compost fills in the gaps and creates a living matrix that roots can actually grow through. This isn't a quick fix for just one season. Compost keeps improving the soil year after year, making it richer and more fertile the longer you use it. Sharp sand provides structure and aeration. The second ingredient is sharp sand, sometimes called builder's sand. This isn't the fine beach sand that compacts and suffocates roots. It's a coarse, gritty sand with irregular edges. When mixed into heavy clay, sharp sand breaks up compaction and adds drainage channels that prevent water from pooling around the roots. When combined with compost in sandy soil, it helps anchor the organic matter and prevents it from washing away too quickly. In rocky soils, it fills the spaces between stones and creates a looser structure where roots can spread. Sharp sand is about structure. It doesn't provide nutrients on its own, but it creates the conditions where nutrients and water can move freely without suffocating the plant. Think of it as the scaffolding that holds everything together. Worm castings supercharge the mix with biology. The third ingredient is worm castings, and this is where the magic really happens. Worm castings are not just a fertilizer, they are a biological powerhouse. They're full of beneficial microbes, enzymes, and slow-release nutrients that plants can actually absorb. In clay soils, they help roots push through and resist disease. In sandy soils, they add stability and create a reservoir of nutrients that don't just wash away with the next rain. In rocky soils, they provide exactly what's missing: life. Worm castings transform dead dirt into living soil, which is honestly the difference between plants that merely survive and plants that truly thrive. So how do you actually combine the 3 ingredients for maximum effect? Now that you know what each one does, let's talk about how to put them together. The general rule is to use equal parts compost and sharp sand, with about 10 to 20% worm castings blended in. That means if you're filling a raised bed or garden plot, you'd use 1 part compost, 1 part sharp sand, and then add a smaller but powerful portion of worm castings to really supercharge the mix. Blend it thoroughly so that no one material dominates a single area. If you're working directly into native soil, loosen the top 8 to 12 inches and mix the ingredients evenly throughout. This gives your plants an environment where roots can spread, nutrients can cycle, and the soil can hold both air and water in perfect balance. So why does this mix work where others fail? Well, many gardeners try to fix their soil with just one amendment, but that usually creates as many problems as it solves. Add only compost to clay, and you still risk waterlogging. Add only sand to sandy soil, and you're just diluting the problem. Add only fertilizer to rocky soil, and the nutrients leach away before plants can use them. The power of this 3-ingredient mix is in balance. Compost adds life, sharp sand adds structure, and worm castings add resilience. Together, they don't just patch a problem, they create soil that functions as a living, breathing system. And just a final word for gardeners facing tough soil. If you've struggled year after year with clay, sand, or rocky ground, know this: your soil is not a dead end. With this simple 3-ingredient mix, you can transform even the most stubborn ground into fertile, productive earth. Don't waste another season fighting against your soil. Work with it, and give it what it needs to support life. If you found this guide helpful, be sure to subscribe to Gentle Herb Living for more time-tested gardening strategies that deliver real results. And share this with a fellow gardener who's ready to stop fighting their soil and start growing with confidence. Together, we can build healthier soil, healthier plants, and healthier harvests.